snow is falling down, and it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace.
Hi guys, welcome to Meals with Maria. I am feeling jolly today, and I'm gonna bring you 3 one-pot meals. So part of Vlogmas, we have a one-pot meal video. I'm super excited to share with you. All these meals were amazing. I love them because they are extremely flavorful and they are cooked in a single pot, which means less cleanup, less dishes, because not only am I the chef, but I'm also the dishwasher. So these are good for me and these are good for the family. They're good for everybody. I will also share with you during the video how you can make budget conscious choices to make sure that these meals are inexpensive and that you are getting the most bang for your buck out of what you are making. So let's get going and use only one pot. So the first one pot meal I'm going to make is a nourishing white bean and cannellini soup. We're just going to start by blending 1 cup of chicken broth, and I'm using chicken bouillon because that is always less expensive, and 1 can of cannellini beans. You can absolutely use dried beans. They will save you a lot of money. I'm just using a can in the essence of time today. Those are only 49 cents at Aldi. So you just want to blend them until everything is smooth. And this is really what gives our soup kind of the meat of the soup. It makes it really, really creamy. It's also a really healthy way to make a creamy soup because this soup doesn't have any added cream or milk or anything like that, but it's still really thick and delicious for those who don't like a extremely brothy soup. Now I'm just going to dice up 1 onion and 2 carrots, and that is what the recipe calls for. And then we're going to place everything into a pot with about a tablespoon of olive oil and saute over medium-high heat until the onions have melted, about 5 to 7 minutes. Then I'm going to add 4 cloves of minced garlic. I'm actually using a microplane here. I absolutely love this tool, and as always, we'll link it below for you because it's just one of my favorite kitchen gadgets. But you could absolutely just dice it with a knife or use some garlic powder. Garlic powder is a really inexpensive way just to add a little bit of flavor if you don't have fresh garlic. You just want to saute this until fragrant, about 1 minute, and add 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary. The recipe does call for fresh, so if you have it, absolutely use that, but I'm just going to use my dried spice because that is what I have on hand. Now add 1 can of cannellini beans and 1 can of chickpeas. These should be rinsed to your pan and saute for a minute, just kind of mixing everything up. Now you want to add 3 cups of chicken broth as well as the pureed beans and chicken broth from earlier. Now this recipe can easily be vegan or vegetarian by using vegetable broth instead of chicken broth. And at the end we'll be using some Parmesan, but you could absolutely use nutritional yeast and this would be an amazing vegan recipe. Once your soup comes to a boil, reduce your heat and bring to a simmer and simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. I simmered mine for 20 minutes and then I actually added a half a container of some frozen spinach. It was really what was left in my freezer. The original recipe calls for escarole, or I think Giada says it escarole, something like that. I did not have that. I've actually never worked with it before, but I decided I would use a different green vegetable and the spinach was perfect. It was absolutely delicious and definitely added that depth of flavor and the greens that we needed to make this soup extremely healthy and delicious. Once the 25 minutes is up and my spinach is added, I'm just using the zest of 1 lemon. I'm able to use my microplane yet again, and then I'm also going to use the juice from that lemon. This gives this soup this amazingly rich and lemony flavor that we absolutely loved. The final step in this soup is adding 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. Add a little more if you want a little bit of a cheesier, thicker soup. And if you want to go vegan, go ahead and use some nutritional yeast. I'm sure that would have tasted absolutely delicious in this soup as well. I was able to serve this soup to our entire family, and there was leftovers for the next day. The kids did try it and liked it. Didn't eat a ton of it, but it was good. And we also served it alongside some crescent rolls from Aldi. They were the Hawaiian ones. So good. So overall, I 100% recommend this one, and it's nice because everything was cooked in one pot and it kept our dishes down. I really just loved eating this soup because it just made me feel healthy. Like, I knew the things in it were good for me, and there was a lot of flavor. A lot of times I'm not a big fan of a vegetarian or vegetable soup. I know this was a vegetarian because I did use chicken broth, but either way, I just am not like just a bean soup fan, but this was hearty and delicious. My next recipe is a 1-pot Greek chicken. So I have some chicken thighs here, and I'm just salting and peppering. It's kind of off to the side. Sorry for the filming, guys. The chicken thighs, and then I'm going to place them skin side down over high heat on a cast iron skillet. Now this cooks hot, so be careful. I did feel like mine cooked a little bit faster than I had anticipated. You might want to go medium-high heat depending on how your stove cooks, but you really just want to get the skin on the outside of the thighs crisped up. My cast iron pan fit 4 chicken thighs, but obviously if you have a larger one and you want to make more, you absolutely can. Chicken thighs are just so inexpensive, and they are so flavorful. One of the best budget meats that you can buy, I think. I cooked these for about 4 minutes skin side down, and you can see that they look almost like they're a little burnt, but honestly they are not. Like, they did not taste burnt at all. They tasted really good once the thing was done. So do not fear if you have a little bit of brown on your chicken skin. It's absolutely fine. Just want to cook them for another 4 minutes on the other side and then remove them from the pan. Leave all the chicken fat and juice in the pan and add 1 diced onion. You want to cook that over medium heat until the onion is melted, probably about 5 minutes. Now add the zest of 2 lemons. We are going heavy on the lemon with these first 2 recipes, and I am not mad. Lemon in your food is absolutely delicious. Many times if you're cooking and you feel like something's missing, it could be an acid or a citrus flavor that you're looking for, so don't hesitate to add lime or lemon to your dishes. Now stir in your lemon zest and add 2 minced garlic cloves. I'm just using my microplane again. You could absolutely use garlic powder as well for this. And for the lemons too, I mean, go ahead and use lemon juice if that's what you have. Really anything to get that citrus flavor into this meal. Now pour in 1 cup of uncooked white rice and saute for about a minute. You just want your rice to kind of absorb all of the liquid that's in there and all of the flavors. Now add 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm just adding 2 cups of water and 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon powder. And squeeze in the juice from both of those lemons that you zested earlier. Return your chicken thighs to the pan and cover tightly with aluminum foil. At this point, you want to bake your chicken in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. When your chicken comes out, you're going to have the creamiest, most delicious rice and chicken dish ever. This is seriously incredible. It's just so much flavor. The lemon is an amazing flavor, and your oven will be covered with grease pretty much everywhere. It was really a messy experience, but you know what? Nothing a little Clorox wipe can't fix. I mean, it's real life cooking, guys. This is what it is. Overall, this dish was delicious. My kids loved it. My husband loved it. Like, they like chicken. They're not big rice fans, but there was enough, and there was 4 here, and the kids ate each half, so we had some the next day. Plenty of rice in this, and then I served it with a little bit of a kale salad on the side, and then my husband just had rice because he's not like a kale guy. But overall, it was absolutely a winner in my book. The next 1-pot recipe is a 1-pot chicken pot pie noodle. I don't even know if I said that right, but it is egg noodles that taste like chicken pot pie that is absolutely amazing. This is a stunning 1-pot dish. You want to start off with 1/2 of a yellow onion diced, as well as 2 stalks of celery diced, as well as 2 peeled and thinly sliced carrots. Now, I did use fresh vegetables because that's what I had on hand. Overall, carrots are very inexpensive at about 82 cents a pound. You can get celery for $1.23 for a full bunch, and onions run about 78 cents. So it is pretty inexpensive, but I believe that you could do this recipe with a can of mixed vegetables or maybe a couple cans of mixed vegetables or potentially frozen. It would probably taste very good as well. So you could absolutely be making a budget-friendly meal by adding those things, and if you do not have access to some fresh vegetables. The recipe also calls for a cup of frozen peas. I think I had about a half a cup left in my freezer, and that's just what we used because that is what we had. Oftentimes I'm just using what I already have and not trying to buy extra things just for recipes because it does save us money and keeps us from wasting food in the long run. So here I'm just melting a couple tablespoons of margarine over medium-high heat, and I've added my vegetables. Probably should have melted the butter first, but I don't think that it really made a difference in the taste in the long run. Just want to mix everything up and cook down those vegetables for about 5 minutes. Once the vegetables are cooked down, I'm just grating in 4 cloves of garlic. Again, you could use a couple teaspoons of garlic powder, or you could mince your garlic by hand or use a garlic press, whichever way you'd like to do this. The garlic in this dish is absolutely amazing and super good for flavor. Now I'm just going to add 4 cups of chicken broth or chicken bouillon, or use vegetable broth, or whatever you would like here to give your chicken pot pie some flavor. You know, adding this now and thinking about it, I'm like, you could make this vegan because look, I used 2 cups of almond milk in this. The original recipe does call for cream, but I didn't have it, and I always keep little containers of almond milk on hand in my closet, so I figured let's try it out and see how it is, and it was phenomenal. I don't know that I would even use cream if I had it because the almond milk was so good in this dish. Just want to bring this up to a boil and add 3 cups of diced chicken. This is where if you want to go the vegan route, don't even add it, or maybe add some sort of alternative. And I actually used leftover turkey because I made this right after Thanksgiving, so I had plenty of turkey left, and that's why it's a little bit dark. It's the dark meat. And I also added 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sage, 1 teaspoon of thyme, and a half a teaspoon of pepper to this mix. When the mixture begins to boil again, add 8 ounces of egg noodles. I had whole wheat egg noodles from Walmart because for some reason they were, I think, the same price or cheaper than regular, and they tasted amazing in this. So again, recommend them. Go with whole wheat, go with regular, whatever you have. It also says you can use any alternative pasta, so you don't necessarily have to use egg noodles. We're just going to cook this for about 15 minutes until the noodles are soft, and then I'm adding 1 can of corn and our frozen peas. I'm just gonna mix this in and cook for another 5 minutes. At this point, our chicken pot pie noodles are done, and this is one of the best dishes I've made in a long time. It was the perfect thing to use with our leftover turkey. So if you have maybe the rest of a leftover rotisserie chicken, or you made some grilled chicken, or really anything that you have left over that is chicken or turkey, go for it and make this meal. You will not regret it. The whole family absolutely loved it. I really am loving these meals that my kids are finally eating because they've been picky eaters for a long time, and they're still like, you know, they eat around the peas sometimes, but sometimes I just try and hide them underneath a noodle, right? It's the mom life.
I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it that thumbs up. If you want to know where I got the shirt, I got it at Walmart because it's amazing. And this hat, Dollar Tree. So if you need them, go get them. If you're new here, I do videos like this with all sorts of different cooking ideas, as well as extreme grocery budget challenges and grocery hauls. So you want to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the fun all Vlogmas long. My fun little elf, Freddy, the foodie who got into the refrigerator today, will also be with me all December long, so you can see what he's up to every single day. If you liked this video and you want to see another one like it, this is a 4-ingredient or less video that is super easy, amazing meals that I know you're going to love. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Please jingle with me, baby. I wanna get to know you better. Please